in this we're just going to create something we're extremely strapped for time. We need to get something dark sounding to present to somebody right away. And so we're going to use hacks and knowledge alone to get to that point. So I know Aeolian will produce darkness, so that's where I'll start. That knowledge. And using the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and right here, 1 4 chord, or the 6 chord or the 2 chord. And a pedal point. That's a good start. So right away, what I'm going to do is just create one single line that implies the 1 chord. And I'll show you why in a second. And I'm not thinking hard about this. That B is a passing tone and that's how I'm going to consider it. A passing tone of 1. Okay. And I'm going to start it a bar early. Now I want to apply one of the other chords. That flat 6 is perfect candidate for I'm going to do something here. Okay, this is all the material we actually need. We're going to have to write one line after this. And I'm going to show you why. We're going to use what's called the canon effect. And this is where knowledge kicks in. We don't have to follow the canon rules exactly, but it literally means repeating the same line, the previous line, and a different voice. So I'm going to transpose this up. And it's going to start that same line an octave higher. And this will give us kind of a build-up feel. And I'm going to paste it again here. I'll show you in a second. And then transpose that up 2 octaves. So it started, that first line that I wrote in is going to start in 2 different voices, an octave up each time. So here's what the material we got. We're doing this very quickly. Implied 4, 2, or 6, whatever you want. Full strings don't play patches very well like this, but we'll fix that later. So it's just that same line's repeating, the original line. So all we have to do is rewrite the original line. So right away, I'm going to start producing tension notes. A suspension, a double passing tone, escape, double passing tone. I don't care about some, we're not worried about that. We're just trying to imply the 1 chord here. Okay? Now we're going to imply the 4 chord. Maybe passing tone with that E above. Oops, that should be an F. Now here, I'm going to imply the 2 chord with that B. The 2 tension notes. The 2 tension notes of Aeolian, the B and where those 2 minor seconds are, and the F, the flat 6. So now we're just taking where that left off, and now we're just simply repeating it an octave higher as the new voice takes over again. If you need to pause it and look to see what exactly I'm copying, go ahead. But it's literally just where the last voice left off is where this is continuing on with. Okay? So now it's copied that what the lowest voice is doing. So we're only still writing the lowest voice. Everything's repeating at the octave. what it already has done. So this is the only voice that's actually technically being written. And I'm looking for places to produce tension notes. Okay? Knowledge. I'm going to carry this over into the next bar, because I see it forms a D minor chord. Okay. And here, where I see it forms that D minor chord, I'm going to jump up to an E note and produce some tension again. Tension and release, tension and release. That's very strong. Listen to what happened. That really strong tension and then release to the diminished, or the 2 chord. So back to the 1 chord again. So you notice we're just alternating between 1 and either the 4, the 2, or the 6. That's how I'm thinking. And the more voices that we add, the more tension we can produce. Tension and release. Actually, I'm doing this wrong. I shouldn't be working on this voice here. This is the only one that's being written. Let me finish out what the previous done. If we look over here, we'll just copy that up. It's taking over again where the last previous voice left off. See, and so, I'm sorry about that. This should be 3 beats as it was in the original voice. See, copied that. It's continuously everything's continuously taken over what the original voice did. So I'm not really thinking much about this. That's the beauty of it, is I only have to write the original voice. So now that we have that, we can go ahead and finish up. And I think I'll stop after this point. Suspension upwards from that D. That's supposed to be the 1 chord. And then to the 3rd of the 1 chord of. And then you got kind of like that accented passing tone. Don't worry about technical names. I'm not. So let's listen to this. Every voice is just basically repeating what the first voice did. And the first voice is the only voice we continuously wrote. Everything's just repeated at the octave. Taking over. So what I'm going to do, since time's really short with the screen capture, I don't want a 30-minute video. I'm going to rework this with a bunch of patches and then show you what I did. I'm going to pause it. Okay, so here we are, and I'm going to play it first. Now it's obviously incomplete, but we've got a feel now, and I'm going to show you what I first did. Is I just initially started with some dynamics, with the continual rise plus a gradually getting louder. It starts to increase the dramatic nature of it. It's very quiet. I'm sorry. The original part, just rising dynamics. Okay. a crossfade. And then I simply copied that to a full winds and let the full winds do the same exact thing. That's not realistic, but whatever. That's not our game. And I added this timpani pedal point, pitched percussion, just pedal point along with the bass pedal point. Now, I took the first line, assigned it to cello's legato. I use Vienna instruments, by the way, almost exclusively. Now, I did that and I just copied it to violas take the next part. And I made these slightly louder than the full strings. So it masks that full string sound because... Now, I'm in a rush, so I'm not worried about violins too or anything. Or realistic string writing. I'm just not interested in that. I'm just copying this. This is a hack. And so then I took the choir and kind of initially first started it just like the except there's an A pedal point. The farther the melody got up, I started to add more voices in the middle. Now here I just started to play static add 2 chords on 1 and 4 to add extreme tension as it rose. So let's listen to this again now. So within just a short time period, I've created something by being completely strapped for ideas by using knowledge alone. Aeolian, I know that produces a dark effect with a pedal point and the 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 2 chord, or the 6 chord, that flat 6 and that 2 chord, where those minor seconds occur, exploiting those, and use the canon effect of all things. And then literally just kind of created a hack sequence by copying things and just for fullness. And this is why it's good to know what will produce a certain type of sound. And if you're completely totally strapped and you need something out really quick to see if this is the feel somebody wants, the knowledge alone can get you there without even, especially when you're feeling too much stress or whatnot. I went through that whole thing without doing much thinking writing. I'm just using knowledge alone and methods I've learned. So I hope this helps.